Mr. Lawrence, Mr. Hayward, Miss Applewhite, Miss Sherwood, Mr. Fillmore. This is your 5-minute call.
You want toys like other little boys in your neighborhood. Don't wait till the night before Christmas to be good. Handouts with curls are for the little girls who do the things they should. So don't wait till the night before Christmas to be good. You can't fool Mr. Santa Claus.
2 minutes.
He knows right from
Mr.
wrong.
Lawrence,
And
Mr.
you can't
Hayward,
be
Miss
right
Applewhite, Miss
just one
Sherwood.
night. You gotta be
This is your
right
2-minute call. Mr. Fillmore, place for audience warm-up, please. We're at 2 minutes to air.
So don't wait till the night before Christmas to be good.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a live broadcast of WBFR Playhouse of the Air. We thank you for braving the weather this Christmas Eve, and you'll be glad you did when you hear the story we have for you tonight, It's a Wonderful Life. Very good, thank you. Remember, this is being broadcast from coast to coast, and our listeners are counting on your reactions as a part of their listening pleasure. So don't be shy. Feel free to applaud, laugh, swoon, or cry just as loudly as the spirit moves. I'm getting a signal from our stage manager that we'll be going live on the air in less than a minute, which gives me just enough time to introduce you to the fine acting ensemble who will be performing tonight's entertainment. You know him from Chick Carter, Boy Detective, and A Cowpoke Romance, playing the hero of tonight's story, George Bailey. I give you Mr. Jake Lawrence. Having just returned from Los Angeles, having completed filming Dottie Goes Bananas, a Technicolor spectacle, as his leading lady, Mary Hatch, we give you Miss Ohio 1943, Miss Sally Applewhite. WBFR Playhouse of the Air listeners have heard our next little lady in roles ranging from Mother Cabrini to Salome, and playing small-town siren Violet Bick in tonight's story, I give you Miss Lana Sherwood. Soon to be seen co-starring with Margaret Dumont in Paramount Pictures' new comedy, The Hick Chick, and playing Clarence the Angel in tonight's story, I give you Mr. Harry Jasbo Haywood. And finally, the host of Females Are Fabulous, and here with you, this and every week, I'm Freddie Fillmore. I'm getting the signal from our stage manager that we'll be going live on the air in less than 20 seconds. Thank you all for coming this evening and enjoy the broadcast.
We are live in 5, 4, 3.
This is WBFR Playhouse of the Air. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, young and old and new. Greetings from WBFR Studio A in Manhattan, New York, right here in the US of A. I'm your host, Freddie Fillmore, and it is my pleasure to bring you your favorite stories this and every week on WBFR Playhouse of the Air. Tonight we bring you a real feel-good heartwarmer, perfect for this or any Christmas Eve. It's a Wonderful Life. Our story takes place in the small town of Bedford Falls, New York, US of A, where a number of people in the town are praying for their dear friend, Mr. George Bailey, a typical American dreamer.
Dear God, please look over my husband, George.
George is a good boy, you know that? He's always gone out of his way to give others a hand, and now it's him who needs help.
Help my big brother, George. He's done so much for all of us. He's been more for me than I remember.
I remember all the times he would stay late after work and not ask a cent. The world needs more like George.
George Bailey never thinks about himself. I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it wasn't
If it wasn't for him, I would have given up long ago. All I think about is myself. I must have taken every last cent
He had no sense of business, that George Bailey, just like his father. None of the Baileys were ever businessmen. It's his own fault if he wasn't prepared for time.
At times like these, I can't help but think it's all my fault. Help him, Father. It's me who's putting him through all this.
Something the matter with Daddy?
Should we pray for him, Mommy?
Yes, Suzu. Pray. Pray very hard.
The voices carry heavenward as Joseph, a superintendent of angels, summons Clarence, an apprentice angel.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes, Clarence. A man down on earth needs our help.
Splendid. Is he sick?
No, worse, he's discouraged. At exactly 10:45 p.m. Earth time, that man will seriously be thinking of throwing away God's greatest gift.
Oh, dear, dear. His life. Then I only have an hour to dress. What are they wearing now?
You will spend that hour getting acquainted with George Bailey.
Sir, if I should accomplish this mission, might I perhaps win my wings? I've been waiting over 200 years now, and people are beginning to talk.
What's that book you've got there?
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, sir. I was reading it when you sent for me.
Oh, fine book. Excellent. Well, you do a good job with George Bailey, and we'll see about your wings.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Now, if you're going to help George, you'll want to know a little something about him. Look, see the town?
Why, yes. A group of young boys sledding down a snow-covered hill and onto the ice. Oh, this is amazing.
Yippee!
Who's that?
That's your problem. George Bailey.
A boy?
That's back when he was 12, back in 1919. Something happens here you'll have to remember later on.
And here comes the scare baby, my kid brother, Harry Bailey.
I'm not scared. Yippee!
Help! Help! Oh dear, Harry's fallen through the ice.
I'm coming, Harry. Make a chain, gang, a chain.
So his brother fell through the ice, but George saved him.
Yes, Clarence. And ever since, George has had a bad ear. All that icy water. You understand?
Bad ear. Yes, sir.
The next event came a few months later, when George took an after-school job at Old Man Gower's drugstore.
It's me, Mr. Gower. George Bailey.
You're late.
Yes, sir.
Hello, George. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Violet.
2 cents worth of shoelaces, Violet?
Mary was here first.
I'm still thinking.
Shoelaces?
Please, Georgie. I like him.
You like every boy.
What's the matter with that?
Here you are.
Bye, Georgie. See you later, Mary.
Made up your mind yet, Mary?
I'll take chocolate.
With coconuts?
I don't like coconuts.
You don't like coconuts? Say, Brainless, don't you know where coconuts come from? Looky here. From Tahiti, the Fiji Islands, the Coral Sea.
What that you got there? A new magazine? I never saw it before.
Of course you never. Only us explorers can have it. I've been nominated for the National Geographic Society. Ooh, let me get your ice cream.
Is this the ear you can't hear on? George Bailey, I'll love you till the day I die.
I'm going out exploring one day. Just you watch. I'll have a couple of harems, maybe 3 or 4 wives. Wait and see.
George! George!
Yes, sir?
You're not paid to be a canary.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, George.
Bye, Mary.
What was that piece of paper George just picked up?
It's a telegram from Mr. Gower. His son just died this morning of influenza.
Oh, awful.
Yes, and he spent the afternoon drowning his grief in whiskey.
Mr. Gower, do you want something? Anything?
No.
Anything I can do back here?
No.
I'll get them, sir. What's this bottle, Mr. Gower?
Never mind that. Take these capsules back to Mrs. Blaine's.
Yes, sir. They have diphtheria there, haven't they, sir? Is it a charge, sir?
Yes, charge.
Mr. Gower, I think...
Oh, get going.
Yes, sir. Mr. Gower?
What is it?
Mr. Gower, that bottle you used, you put something wrong in those capsules.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Ah, you're hurting my sore ear.
Did you hear what I said? Get out of here.
Mr. Gower, you don't know what you're doing. You put something wrong in those capsules. I know you're upset. You got that telegram. I know you're unhappy. It wasn't your fault, Mr. Gower, but look, this bottle you used to fill those capsules. It's poison.
Poison?
Oh, don't hit my sore ear again.
Poison? Oh, George.
All I wanted was to make sure, Mr. Gower. I know what you're feeling. I won't tell anyone. I won't ever tell a soul. I'll hope to die, I won't.
George.
Did he ever tell anyone about those pills?
Not a soul.
Did he ever marry that girl? Did he ever go exploring?
We'll get there soon enough, Clarence. When George Bailey grew up, he wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't the money. So, he worked 4 years in the Building and Loan Association.
Building and Loan Association?
George's father was in the building and loan business, along with George's Uncle Billy.
George, what's the combination to the safe?
We wrote it down so you wouldn't forget it.
Ah, that's right. Where?
In your wallet, Uncle Billy.
Thanks. Peter, Potter's here.
Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey. There's nothing quite so loathsome as a family business. Now, Peter, you know what I'm here for? And I'm on a very tight schedule. Family to evict at 3.
Okay then, Mr. Potter, here's the thing. I just need a little more time. Just 30 short days. I'll dig up that 5,000 somehow.
Have you put any real pressure on your people to pay their mortgages?
Times are hard, Mr. Potter. A lot of people are out of work.
Then foreclose.
I can't do that. These families have children.
But they're not my children.
But they're somebody's children, Mr. Potter.
Are you running a business or a charity ward?
Well, all right.
Not with my money.
Mr. Potter, what makes you such a hard-skulled character? You have no family, no children. You can't begin to spend all the money you've got.
Oh, so I suppose I should give it to miserable failures like you and that idiot brother of yours to spend for me.
He's not a failure. You can't say that about my father.
George.
You're not. You're the biggest man in town.
All right, son. Thanks. I'll talk to you tonight.
Just don't let him say that about you, Pop.
Tonight.
What kind of business are you running here? Good God, man.
George worked for his father, saving enough to see him through the university. That summer, though, he was going to Europe. George had gotten a job on a cattle boat and wanted to do a little exploring before college. Old man Gower even surprised him with a gift of a great big suitcase. On his way back home from the store, George ran into his old pal Ernie, the cab driver, and Bert, the cop.
Hey, Ernie.
Hiya, George.
Hi, Bert.
Hey, George. What's that suitcase for?
I'm rich tourist today. How about driving me home in style?
Sure, Your Highness. Hop in the cab. And for the carriage trades, I'll put on my hat.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bailey. Looks like you're ready to get out of here.
Hello, Violet. Hey, you look good today. That's some dress you got on there.
Oh, this old thing? Why, I only wear it when I don't care how I look. See you later.
How would you like?
Yes.
Want to come along, Bert? We'll show you the town.
No, thanks. Think I'll go home and see what the wife's doing.
Family man.
George saved up enough money to go away to college. His bags were packed and he was all set to go.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, it sure is hard to realize it's the last night at the Bailey boarding house.
We're sure going to miss you, George.
I'm gonna miss you too, Pop. What's the matter? You seem tired.
Oh, I had another tussle with old Henry Potter today.
Oh.
I thought when we put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up on us.
I wonder what's eating that old money-grubbing buzzard anyway.
Oh, he's a sick man. Frustrated and sick. Sick in his mind, sick in his soul, if he has one. Hates everybody that has anything he can't have. Hates us mostly, I guess.
Hey, George, can I borrow your tuxedo studs?
Yeah, help yourself, Harry.
Well, where are they? In your suitcase?
I'm not taking a tuxedo on a cattle boat, you know.
Say, where'd you get that fine piece of luggage anyway?
Ah, Mr. Gower, going away present. You know, someday you're gonna see that bag covered in travel labels. Italy, Baghdad.
Hey, why don't you come to the dance tonight?
What, and be bored to death?
Well, you couldn't want a better death. Lots of pretty girls. Hey, I gotta hurry.
I wish we could send Harry off to college with you, George.
We have that all figured out. You see, Harry will take my job at the building and loan, and he'll work there 4 years, and then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
Well, no younger than I was.
You were born older, George. I suppose you've decided what you're going to do when you get out of college.
Oh, well, you know, what I always talked about doing. Building things. Design new buildings, plan modern cities.
Still after that first million before you're 30?
No, I'll settle for that half in cash.
Of course, it's just a hope, but you wouldn't consider coming to work for the building and loan now, would you?
Oh,
I know it's too early to talk about it.
Oh, I couldn't face being cooped up in that shabby little office anyway. Oh, I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that remark. It's just this whole business of nickels and dimes and spending your whole life trying to figure out how to save 3 cents on a length of pipe. I'd go crazy. I want to do something big, something important.
You know, George, I feel that in a small way we are doing something important. Satisfying a fundamental urge. It's not too much for a man to want his own roof and walls and fireplace. And we're helping him get those things in our shabby little office.
I know, Dad. I wish I felt... I've been hoarding pennies like a miser. Half my friends have already almost finished college. It's just, I feel like if I don't get away, I'd bust.
Yes, you're right, boy. This town's no place to live if you aren't willing to crawl to Potter. You get yourself an education. Then, get out of here.
I'm glad you see what I'm talking about. Say, I think I'm gonna go down to Main Street. You know, last night into town and all.
Have a good time, son.
Hello, Georgie Porgy.
Hello, Vi.
What gives?
Nothing.
Where are you going?
Oh, I'll probably end up at the library.
Georgie, don't you ever just get tired of reading about things?
Yes. What are you doing tonight?
Not a thing.
Are you game, Vi? What do you say we make a night out of it?
I'd love it, Georgie. What'll we do?
Well, let's go out in the fields and we'll take off our shoes and walk in the grass.
Huh?
And then we can go up to Stewart Lake and it's beautiful up there in the moonlight and we can swim and we can climb Mount Bedford and smell the pines and watch the sunrise against the peaks. And we'll stay up there the whole night and everyone will be talking. There'll be a huge, terrific scandal.
George, have you gone crazy? Walk in the grass in my bare feet? You think just because you...
Just forget about the whole thing then.
Forget about what, George?
Oh, nothing, Sam.
You remember Mary, don't you?
Hi, George.
Hi, Mary.
Say, you wouldn't mind walking Mary home, would you, George?
Of course not. Is that okay with you, Mary?
Fine by me.
Great, thanks.
So George walked Mary home. Is that important, Joseph?
I'd say it is, because even though she lived only 4 blocks away, it took them 2 hours to get there.
Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight? Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon? Hot dog, oh boy. Just like an organ, gee whiz.
Beautiful.
You know something? If it wasn't me talking, I'd say you were the prettiest girl in town.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will. How old are you anyway?
18.
18?
Too young or too old?
Oh no, just right. Your age fits you. Hey, look where we are.
Oh, the old Granville house.
Yeah, I gotta throw a rock.
Oh, no, don't. I love that old house.
Well, no, don't you know? About deserted houses, you throw a rock and you make a wish.
But George, it's such a lovely old place. I wish I lived there.
And there? I wouldn't live there if I was a ghost. Now, watch this. How about it, huh? Pretty good, huh? Broke a window, huh?
What's your wish, George?
Well, not just one wish, a whole hatful, Mary. I'm shaking the dust off this crummy old town off my feet, and I'm going to see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. And then I'm coming back here to go to college and see what they know. And then I'm going to build things. I'm going to build airfields. I'm going to build skyscrapers 100 stories high. I'm going to build bridges a mile long. And then I'm going to... Hey, are you going to throw a rock too? Hey, that's pretty good. What'd you wish for, Mary?
No, if I tell you, it may not come true.
Hey, Mary, come on. What do you want, huh? Do you want the moon? All you gotta do is say the word now.
Okay, the moon. I'll take it. And then what?
Then what? Well, then I'll throw a lasso around it and I'll bring it down and you could swallow it and it all dissolve in your mouth and the moonbeams would shoot out between your fingers and your toes and at the ends of your hair and Am I talking too much?
Yes! Why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
Who's that?
Old man Collins on his front porch.
Youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Hey, hold on. Hey, mister, why don't you come out here and I'll show you some kissing now. Put the bat hair on the back of your head. Hey, why don't you come back out here?
George!
Uncle Billy?
George, get in the car quick. Your father's had a stroke.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got to go, Mary.
George's father died that night, Clarence. So, of course, George couldn't go to Europe. But just as George was about to leave for college in the fall, the directors of the building and loan held a meeting. They were going to appoint a successor.
Look at these numbers. I just don't know what they're going to do.
I want the board to know that George gave up his trip to Europe to help straighten things out here these past few months, and it was greatly appreciated. I think that's all we'll need for you for, George. Good luck to you at school. I know you're anxious to make a train.
Yes, I have a taxi waiting downstairs.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to get to my real purpose today. I claim that this institution is not necessary to the town. Therefore, I make a motion to dissolve the building and loan and turn all of its assets and liabilities over to the receiver.
questions?
It's too soon after Peter Bailey's death to discuss chloroforming the building and loan. It was his faith and devotion that are responsible for his organization.
I'll go further than that. I'll say to the public that Peter Bailey was the building and loan.
Oh, that's fine, Potter. Coming from you, considering that you probably drove him to his grave.
Peter Bailey was not a businessman. That's what killed him. I mean no disrespect to him, God rest his soul. He was a man of high ideals, so-called, but ideals without common sense can ruin this town. What does that get us? A discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class. And all because a bunch of starry-eyed dreamers like Peter Bailey just stir them up and fill their head with a lot of impossible hooey. Now what I say...
Now, just a minute. Now, hold on, Mr. Potter. Now, you're right when you say my father was no businessman, but why he even started this cheap penny ant building and loan, I'll never know. But neither you nor anybody else can say anything against his character. Why his whole life was... In the 25 years since he and Uncle Billy started this place, he never once thought of himself. Isn't that right, Uncle Billy?
You got that right.
He didn't save up enough money to send Harry to college, let alone me. But he did help get a few people out of your slums, Mr. Potter. And what's wrong with that? Why, you're all businessmen here. Doesn't it make them better citizens? Doesn't it make them better customers? Well, you said, what'd you say just a minute ago? That they ought to wait and save their money before they even thought of a decent home? Wait for what? Until their children have all grown up and left them? Until they're so old and broken down that they... Do you know how long it takes a working man to save $5,000? And just remember this, Mr. Potter, this rabble that you talk about, they do most of the working, paying, and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much for them to work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him, but you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. In my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book. I'm talking about the building and loan.
I know very well what you're talking about. You're talking about something you can't get your fingers on. It's galling you. That's what you're talking about. I've said too much anyway. You're the board here. You decide to do with this place. Just one more thing, though. This town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can come without crawling to Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy.
Oh, sentimental hogwash. I want my motion.
You're just coming out of the board meeting. I'll have to call you back.
What happened, George? All we heard was a lot of yelling.
Boy, oh boy, Matilda, you should have heard George.
Yeah, they're voting us down in there.
George, get out of here. You missed your boat trip. Do you want to miss college, too? Don't worry about the board. So they're putting us out of business. So what? I can get another job. I'm only 55.
You're 58.
George! They voted Potter down. We're still in business.
Whoopee! We're still in business. We're still in business.
But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
Appoint me? No. I'm going to college. Billy here, he's your man.
You can keep him on. That's all right.
Let me get things straight. I'm leaving. I'm leaving right now. I'm going to school. This is my last chance.
But George, you've got to take it. They'll vote with Potter otherwise.
So George Bailey didn't go to college?
That's right, Clarence. He gave his money to his brother Harry, and Harry went instead.
But what happened to that good-looking girl? You know, Mary.
Oh, George saw her now and then. Not very often, though, because Mary, too, had gone away to school. Anyway, George waited 4 years more for Harry to come back and take over the building and loan. Then he could still see the world. He planned to work in the oil fields of Venezuela.
There she blows. Say, Uncle Billy, you know what the three most wonderful sounds on earth are?
Breakfast is served, lunch is served, dinner is served.
Anchor chains, plane motors, and train whistles. Oh, here's the professor now.
Well, if it isn't George Geographic Explorer Bailey. Uncle Billy, you haven't changed a bit.
Nobody ever changes around here, you know that.
Oh, am I glad to see you.
Say, where's Mother?
She's at home cooking the fatted calf. Come on, let's go.
Oh, wait. This is Ruth Dakin.
Ruth Dakin Bailey, if you don't mind.
Huh?
Well, I wired you I had a surprise, and here she is. Meet the wife.
Well, what do you know, wife?
How do you do? Or what am I doing? Congratulations. Harry, why didn't you tell somebody? What's a pretty girl like you marrying this two-headed brother of mine?
Well, I'll tell you, it's purely mercenary. My father offered him a job.
Oh, he gets you and the job. Harry's cup runneth over. Come on, Ruth. Let's start ahead and leave the bags for the fellas.
All right.
George, about that job, Ruth spoke out of turn. I've never said I'd take it. You've been holding the bag here for 4 years. And, well, I won't let you down.
It's all right, Harry. It's all right.
And that night, the homecoming for Harry became his wedding party. Uncle Billy familiarized himself with the spirits.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I feel so good I could spit in Potter's eye. I think I will. What do you say? Maybe I should go home, if you just point me in the right direction.
Right down there.
That way, huh? Okay, old building loan pal. See you later. I'm alright. I'm alright.
George?
Yeah, I'm out on the porch, Mother. Just thought I'd get some air.
Well, how do you like the new sister-in-law?
She's swell.
Looks like she'll keep Harry on his toes.
Yeah, keep him out of Bedford Falls.
George, did you know that Mary Hatch is back from school?
Yeah.
Nice girl, Mary.
Uh-huh.
Oh, stop grumbling. Give me one good reason why you shouldn't call on Mary.
Well, Sam Wainwright. Sam's crazy about her.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
How do you know that? Did you discuss it with her?
Besides, Sam's away in New York, and you're here in Bedford Falls.
And all's fair in love and war?
Well, I don't know about war.
All right, Mother. I think we'll go out and find the girl and do a little passionate necking.
Oh, George!
Bye, Mrs. Bailey. Oh, by the way, do you want any books at the library?
The library? George, you go and see Mary, you hear?
Hello, George.
Hello, Mary. I just happened to be passing by.
Your mother just phoned and said you're on your way over to pay me a visit.
My mother just called you. How did she know?
Well?
Well, I didn't tell anybody. I just happened to be going for a walk and just happened to be passing by. You know, when you went for a walk, that's all. Well, when did you get back?
Tuesday. Would you like to come in?
Well, yeah, I guess since I'm here. Say, where'd you get that dress?
Do you like it?
Well, it's all right. I thought you'd go back to New York with Sam and Francie and the rest of them.
Oh, I worked there a couple vacations, but I don't know. I guess I was homesick.
Homesick for Bedford Falls?
Yes, and my family and, oh, well, everything. Would you like to sit down?
All right, for a minute. You know, I just don't understand it, though. But I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Would you rather leave?
No, I don't want to be rude.
It was nice about Harry and Ruth, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
Well, don't you like her?
Well, of course I like her. She's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general you're not too enthusiastic about, huh?
Oh, marriage is fine for Harry and Sam Wainwright and you.
Mary? Mary, who's out there with you?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What does he want?
I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Not a thing. I just came in to get warm.
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
You tell him to go right back home, and don't you leave the house. Sam Wainwright promised to call from New York tonight, didn't he?
Your mother needed, I didn't come here to...
What did you come here for?
I don't know. You tell me. You're supposed to be the one who has all the answers. You tell me.
Why don't you go home?
All right, that's where I'm going. I didn't know why I came here in the first place.
Mary, the telephone. It's Sam.
I'll get it. Hee-haw. Hello, Sam. How are you?
Oh, great. Gee, it's good to hear your voice again.
Oh, well, that's awfully sweet of you, Sam. You know, there's an old friend of yours here, George Bailey.
You mean old Mossback George?
Yes, old Mossback George.
Yeehaw, put him on.
Wait a minute, I'll call him. George!
He doesn't want to speak to George, you idiot.
He does so. He asked for him. George, Sam wants to speak to you.
Hello, Sam.
Hey, what a fine pal you are. What are you trying to do, steal my girl?
What do you mean? No one's trying to steal your girl.
No, wait a minute. I want to talk to both of you. Tell Mary to get on the extension.
Mother's on the extension.
I'm not.
We can both hear you. George, just move your head a little closer.
Okay.
There, that's better. We're listening, Sam.
I have a big deal coming up that's gonna make us all rich. George, remember that night at Martini's bar when you told me about making plastics out of soybeans?
Huh? Yeah, soybeans, yeah.
Well, my father checked into it. George, see now he's gonna build a building outside of Rochester. How do you like that?
Rochester? Why Rochester?
Well, why not? Can you think of anything better?
I don't know. Well, why not here in Bedford Falls? You know, the old tool machinery works. Tell your father he can get that for a song. And all the labor he wants, too. Half the town was put out of work when they closed down anyway.
Well, that's so. I'll tell him. Hey, that sounds great. Oh, baby, I knew you'd come through. Now, here's the point, George. I may have a job for you. That is, unless you're still married to that old broken-down building and loan. Oh, Mary?
I'm here.
You tell that guy I'm giving a chance of a lifetime, you hear?
He says it's a chance of a lifetime.
Give me that phone. Now you listen to me, Mary. I don't want no plastics. I don't want no job. I don't want to get married ever to anyone. You understand that? I want to do what I want to do, and you're not. Oh, Mary.
George.
Oh, Mary. I love you.
George, I love you too.
We will return to WBFR Playhouse of the Air's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life in just a few moments. But first, gentlemen, does your hair resemble a dried out bird's nest full of dandruff flakes?
Tweet, 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 tweet.
Do you plaster your hair down like some cheap gigolo smelling to high heaven?
Ew, what a stink.
When girls get a gander at the tip top of your noggin, do they go,
Ew.
well, here's a friendly hint that may just help you out in the romance department. Starting tomorrow, why not try Bremel Hair Tonic? Yes, sirree, you'll be heading for success with Bremel Groomed Hair. A success with the gals on the job, Bremel keeps your hair looking mighty attractive, always in place, a real sex appealer. Bremel Hair Tonic does lots more than keep your hair handsome looking.
Bremel Swain Hair Tonic makes your filthy bird nest clean. A little dab will do ya. All the pretty cows will scream. Not only will dames love it, your barb will shout out with glee. Bremel Swain Hair Tonic, your dandruff will be history.
Buy some Bremel today, your hair will thank you. And now, back to It's a Wonderful Life. George and Mary were married, and following the wedding and reception, George's old pal Ernie, the cab driver, drove the happy couple to the train station.
Hey, where are you two going on this here now honeymoon?
Oh, we're gonna shoot the works, Ernie. Whole week in New York, a whole week in Bermuda, the highest hotels, the oldest champagne, the richest caviar, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
Here's the kitty earning $2,000. I feel like a bootlegger's wife.
So you're finally getting out of Bedford Falls, huh? Then what?
Then what, honey?
Well, after that, who cares?
That does it. Hey, Mrs. Bailey, I haven't kissed you since...
Hey, George, there's something funny going on over there. Look, they're over the bank. It looks like a run.
Huh? Well, pull over there a minute, Ernie, won't you?
Let's stop.
No,
Please,
no, wait a minute.
To the station.
I better see what it is. I'll be right back.
George, please. George!
What is this, Uncle Billy, a holiday? Why are the doors locked? There's a crowd up front.
This is a pickle, George.
Right now, what happened?
All I know is the bank called our loan. I had to hand out all of our cash.
All of it?
Every last cent of it.
Holy mackerel.
And then I got scared, George, and I closed the doors.
Our charter says we need to stay open until 6 o'clock or we'll lose our license.
Bailey Brothers building in.
Get me George.
George, it's Potter.
Hello?
Now, George, there's a rumor going around town that you've closed your doors. Is that true?
No, it isn't.
Well, do you need any police? Mobs can get pretty ugly sometimes. You know that, George?
No, we're fine.
We'll see about that. Now, George, I'm going all out to help in this crisis. I've just secured the bank sufficient funds to meet their needs. They'll close for a week and then reopen. Now, I may lose a fortune, but I'm willing to guarantee your people too. If you just tell your people to bring their shares over here, I will pay them 50 cents on the dollar.
Aw, you don't miss a trick, do you, Mr. Potter? Well, you're gonna miss this one.
If you close your doors before 6 p.m., you will never reopen.
He just took over the bank, Billy. Open the doors. Let them in.
Why were the doors closed?
Now, just remember, this thing isn't as black as it appears. I've got some news for you folks. I just got off the phone with old man Potter. He's guaranteeing cash payments at the bank.
How about our money, George? Where's our money?
Now please, wait a minute. You've got this place all wrong. The money's not here.
What do you mean? The money's not here. Where is it?
Now wait a minute, let me tell you. The money's in people's houses, in the Kennedy house, in the McLaren house, in your house, and 100 others. Now, what are you going to do, foreclose on them?
I've got $242 in here, and $242 isn't gonna break anybody.
All right, Charlie, you'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
Well, that's what you agreed to when you bought your shares.
I got my money. Old man Potter's taking over the bank. He'll pay you 50 cents on every dollar.
50 cents on the dollar.
Now, wait a minute. Please don't go. I beg of you. Mr. Potter gets a hold of your shares, we'll be owning this building and loan. He's owned the department stores, he's got the bus lines, and now he's after us. Because he wants you living in his shacks and paying the kind of rent that he decides. Now, we can get through this, all right? We just gotta stick together. We just have to have faith in each other.
My husband's out of work. We need money.
I got doctor bills to pay.
How much do you need? We've still got some money. I've got $2,000 from the wedding.
Hey, Mary, I've got $2,000 here. This'll tide us over until the bank reopens. Now, Charlie, how much did you need?
$242.
Aw, Charlie, just enough to tide you over until the bank reopens.
I'll take $242.
Okay. Uncle Billy, give him $242. Okay, all right. Ed, now how much money did you need?
$20, I suppose.
Now we're talking. All right, Mrs. Thompson, how much?
But it's your own money, George.
Well, never mind that. How much do you need?
Could I have $17.50?
$17.50. Bless your heart. Of course you can have it. Uncle Billy, give her $17.50. Pay it back when you can now. Pay it back when you can. All right. Who's next?
Look at the clock. Look.
5 seconds. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. 6 o'clock, we made it. Lock that door, Uncle Billy. Oh boy, we're still in business. We still got $2 left.
Bailey Brothers building in just a minute. George, there's a call for you.
Look, will you get my wife on the phone? She's probably at her mother's.
Oh, Mrs. Bailey is on the phone.
I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want my wife. Oh, Mrs. Bailey. Oh, that's my wife. Mary, hello? Listen, dear, I'm sorry. What? Come home? What home? 320 Sycamore? Well, whose house is that? The Waldorf Hotel? Huh?
That doesn't look like the Waldorf.
Oh no, number 320 Sycamore was the old Granville house. You know, the one where George and Mary threw rocks at and made wishes. Mary prepared the house, including a turkey dinner, romantic decorations, and even a marriage bed.
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey.
Well, I'll be.
Remember that night we broke the windows in this old house? This is what I wished for.
Darling, you're wonderful.
Yes, sir. That's where they spent their honeymoon. That's where they started their lives together. Mary made the old leaky house a home, while George toiled away at the building and loan office, providing houses for people like Giuseppe Martini.
Hey, Martini, you rented a new house?
Rent? Ha! You hear that, Mr. Bailey? I own this house. Me, Giuseppe Martini. I own my own house. No more we live like pigs in Potter's Field.
We have something for you and your family, Mr. Martini. George and I bring something for all the new owners.
For the Martinis? Maria, come quick! Our first housewarming gifts. Bring the kids.
Bread, so that this house may never know hunger. Salt, that life may always have flavor.
And wine, that joy and prosperity may reign forever. Enter the Martini Castle.
Bailey houses were popping up all over the place, mostly owned by people that used to live in Potter's Field, and Potter had just about enough of that. So after a couple of years, Old Man Potter decided to call our George into his office.
Sit down, George. Sit down. Have a cigar?
Thank you, sir. Quite a cigar, Mr. Potter.
Oh, you like it? I'll send you a box.
Well, I suppose I'll find out sooner or later, but what was it exactly you wanted to see me about?
Now, George, that's just what I like so much about you. George, I'm an old man, and most people hate me, but I don't like them either, so it makes it all even. Now, George, you know just as well as I do that I own practically everything in this town, besides the Bailey building and loan. You know also that for a number of years I've been trying to get control of it, or kill it. But I haven't been able to. You've been stopping me, and in fact, you've actually beaten me, George, and that takes some doing. Take during the Depression, for instance. You and I were the only two that kept our heads. You saved the building and loan, and, well, I saved all the rest.
Yes, well, some people say you stole all the rest.
The envious ones say that, George, the suckers. Now let's look at it from your side. You're a young man, 27, 28, making, say, 40 a week?
45.
45.
45.
Now, if you were some ordinary yokel, I'd say you were doing fine. But George Bailey is intelligent, ambitious. He hates the building loan almost as much as I do. He's been dying to get out of town ever since he was born. A young man, the smartest one in the crowd, mind you, who's forced to sit by and watch his friends go places because he's trapped into frittering his life away, playing nursemaid to a lot of garlic eaters. Do I paint a correct picture, George, or do I exaggerate?
What's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point, George, is that you're the only man in town who's licked me. I want to hire you. I'll start you out at, say, $20,000 a year.
$20,000? $20,000 a year?
You wouldn't mind living in the nicest house in town, buying your wife a lot of fine clothes, a couple business trips to New York a year, maybe once in a while Europe. You wouldn't mind that now, would you, George?
Would I? You're not talking to somebody else around you, are you? You're talking to me. I'm George Bailey, remember? The building and loan, remember?
Yes, George Bailey, whose ship has just come in, provided he has brains enough to climb aboard.
Well, what about the building and loan?
Oh, confound it, man. I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Now, is it a deal or isn't it?
Mr. Potter, I know I ought to jump at the chance, but I wonder if you'd give me 24 hours to think about it.
Sure. You go home and talk to your wife.
Yeah, I'd like that.
In the meantime, I'll draw up the papers, and soon you'll be managing my affairs.
Your affairs? No, doggone it, no. The answer's no. You sit around here spinning your little webs, and you think the whole world revolves around you and your money, Mr. Potter, but it doesn't. And in the whole vast configuration of things, I'd say you're nothing more than a scurvy little spider.
What did Mr. Potter want, George?
Nothing. Just talk. Nothing. Oh, Mary Hatch, why in the world would you ever marry a guy like me anyway?
To keep from being an old maid.
I was going to see the world. I was going to build things. I was going to give you the moon. What have I given you? Not even a new dress for months. You didn't even have a proper honeymoon. You could have married Sam Wainwright, anyone else in town.
I didn't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look like you.
You didn't even have a honeymoon. You're what?
My baby.
You mean, Mary, you're on the nest?
George Bailey Lasso Stork.
Well, Mary had her baby, a boy.
Oh, you don't say.
Then she had a girl.
Well, what do you know?
Night after night, George would come home late from the office. Things weren't good with the building and loan. Potter was really bearing down hard. Then came the war. Mary had another baby by then, but still had enough time to run the USO. Uncle Billy and Old Man Gower sold war bonds. Violet entertained the troops. Bert the cop was wounded in North Africa, got the Silver Star. Ernie, the taxi driver, parachuted into France. Harry Bailey topped them all. A Navy flyer, he shot down 15 planes, 2 of which were about to crash into a transport full of soldiers.
Yes, but George, what about George?
George? 4F on account of his ear, George fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. Air raid warden, paper drives, scrap drives, rubber drives. On VE Day, he wept and prayed. On VJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
We're getting pretty close to today, aren't we, sir?
Yes, Clarence. You now know almost everything there is to know about George Bailey, except what happened that finds him down there at this moment wanting to die.
Well, sir, well?
Well, today's the day before Christmas, and Billy's at the bank to make a deposit when he ran into Old Man Potter.
Well. Mr. Henry F. Potter, come to the bank to deposit some more loot, huh?
Sure, you old fool.
How do you like the news in the paper, Mr. Potter? Harry Bailey wins Congressional Medal of Honor. Just can't keep those Bailey boys down, now can you?
Let me see that newspaper.
Here you go. Sorry I can't chat, you old thief. Gotta make a deposit.
Good morning, Mr. Bailey.
Good morning, Horace. Here you are. Deposit slip, bank book, and a very Merry Christmas to you.
You too. Mr. Bailey, say you've forgotten something, haven't you?
And what's that?
You want to make a deposit?
Well, certainly.
Well, it's customary to bring the money with you.
It's gone. Where did I put it? Where did I put that money?
A terrible thing, Clarence. Terrible. Uncle Billy couldn't find the money because the envelope with the $8,000 was tucked away in a newspaper he gave to an Old Man Potter. At the same time as Billy started looking for the deposit, Violet came to visit George at the building and loan.
Oh, hello, Vi.
Suppose you're getting things set back at the house for the party tonight.
You know you're invited. What's wrong?
You see right through me, don't you?
How much do you need?
I hate doing this to you, George, but I won't be asking for any more after this.
You planning on robbing a bank, Vi?
I'm going to Manhattan.
What's in Manhattan?
Why, everything's in Manhattan. A new start, at least.
It's a big step, Vi. Why not start a new life here in Bedford Falls?
Well, I'll be. Never thought I'd hear that from you, George Bailey. I thought you hated this place.
I did. This town has a charm of its own.
You should give tours, maybe.
I'm just thinking about you, Vi. Manhattan's a pretty big place to take on your own.
I've made a decision. There's a midnight train tonight, and I plan to be on it.
It takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start all over. Here's some dough.
No, George, don't.
What do you want to do? Hawk your furs in your hat? You want to walk to Manhattan? You know they charge for meals and rent there just the same as they do in Bedford Falls.
Yeah, sure.
It's a loan. It's my business. Business and loan. Besides, you'll get a job. Good luck to you.
I'm glad I know you, George Bailey.
Say hello to New York for me.
Merry Christmas, George.
George! Uncle, what's going on? The bank examiner's in town today and...
Today?
Yeah, I want to see accounts payable. What's the matter with you?
The money, the $8,000,
What, Uncle Billy? What happened to it?
I don't know. I was going to deposit it when I went to the bank. I didn't have it.
$8,000. Uncle Billy, the bank examiner's in town today, and it's not our money. It belongs to the depositors.
I'm so sorry, George. I don't know what happened.
Well, the first place you look is in your coat pocket. That's where I told you to place it when you left.
I'm no good to you, George. I'm no good.
Well, let's go then. We'll retrace your steps. We'll leave no stone unturned.
And as George and Billy went looking for the deposit, Potter had a meeting with the state bank examiner, a Miss Sadie Vance.
The whole town's turned upside down with the Bailey boys' homecoming. Congressional medal and all.
I guess they do things like that.
May I look at your paper?
Go ahead.
This is a deposit from Bailey.
Oh, that old fool Billy Bailey gave me that newspaper.
Well, you're going to deposit it for him, right? Potter.
To think you would make such a foolish mistake. I mean, look how much it is.
There's $8,000 here.
What a Christmas present, and he doesn't even know it.
Just a minute here, Potter. I know you've been giving the Baileys a hard time as far back as I can remember. Why?
I don't have to give answers to you. You're just a state examiner.
Yes, I am, but I'm unimpressed by your buying off everyone in town. Oh, that's it. You could never buy the Baileys.
What?
You heard what I said. The Baileys have always stood for something you've always wanted and are so jealous of. They're honest.
You're fired!
Ha! You can't fire me. I'm state appointed. And what's more, I am not going to turn my back. This is stealing from the Baileys. Something like this would certainly cause them to fold.
Yes, and after 25 years of... Finders keepers, you know that? Besides, there's not a court in this county that would find me guilty.
And we all know why.
Say, how's your family, Sadie?
My family?
I know how little those state positions pay. What would you say to a little Christmas bonus?
I want no part of this.
Well, that's not what I've heard.
What are you insinuating, Potter?
I will not be turned down.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to pay the Baileys a surprise visit. You'll see the records. They'll be short. You know the rest. Finally, the Baileys will be where they belong. Down for good!
I know what to do.
And did you put the envelope in your pocket?
Yeah, maybe.
Uncle Billy, we've got to find that money.
I'm no good to you, George.
Do you have any secret hiding place here in the house?
I've gone over the whole house, even in rooms that have been locked ever since I lost your Aunt Laura.
Listen to me. Think.
I can't think anymore, George. It hurts.
Where's the money, you stupid, silly old fool? Do you realize what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal and prison. One of us is going to jail. Well, it's not going to be me.
Hello, darling.
Hello, Daddy. Daddy, did you bring the wreath?
What wreath?
The Merry Christmas wreath for the window.
I left that at the office.
Is it snowing?
Yeah, just started.
Where's your coat and hat?
Left them at the office.
What's the matter?
Nothing's the matter. Everything's all right.
Well, isn't it wonderful about Harry? We're famous, George. I'll bet I had 50 calls today about the parade, the banquet. Your mother's so excited.
Must he keep playing that?
I have to practice for the party tonight, Daddy.
Mommy says we can stay up all night and sing Christmas carols.
Can you sing, Daddy?
Better hurry up and shave, George. The families will be here soon.
Families? I don't want any families over here.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
A hectic day.
Yeah, another big red letter day for the Baileys.
Daddy, the Browns next door have a new car. You should see it.
What's the matter with our car? Isn't it good enough for you?
Yes, Daddy.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Excuse you for what?
I burped.
All right, darling, you're excused. Go upstairs and see what little Susie wants.
What's the matter with Zuzu?
Oh, she got a cold. Caught it coming home from school. She got a flower for a prize and didn't want to crush it, so she didn't button up her coat.
What is it, a sore throat?
The doctor says it's nothing serious.
Was the doctor here?
So I called him right away.
Is she running a temp?
Just a teensy one.
Oh, gosh, it's his old house. I don't know why we don't all have pneumonia, this drafty old barn. God, It's like we're living in a refrigerator. Why do we have to live here and stay in this crummy old town in the first place?
George, what's wrong?
Wrong? Everything's wrong. You call this a happy family? Why do we have to have all these kids?
Dad, how do you spell Frankenstein?
I don't know. Ask your mother.
Where are you going?
Up to see Zuzu.
Hi, Daddy.
Well, what happened to you?
I want a flower.
Where do you think you're going?
Want to give my flower a drink.
Here, give Daddy the flower. I'll give it a drink.
Look, Daddy. Some of the petals came off. Paste it.
Yeah, all right. All right, I'll paste it together. All right, there it is. Good now?
Give the flower a drink.
Now, will you do something for me?
What?
Try to get some sleep?
I'm not sleepy. I want to look at my flower.
I know, but when you go to sleep, you'll be able to dream of it, and then it'll be a whole garden.
It will?
Uh-huh.
Telephone. I'll get it. Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey. Thank you, Mrs. Welch. The doctor says she'll be out of bed in time for Christmas dinner.
Is that Zuzu's teacher?
Yes?
Let me speak to her. Hello, Mrs. Welch? This is George Bailey. Say, what kind of teacher are you anyway? What do you mean sending her home like that half naked?
George!
Is this the sort of thing we pay taxes for? For silly, stupid, careless people like you who send our kids home without any clothes on? Oh, that's stupid.
Hello, Mrs. Welch. I want to apologize. Hello? Hello? She hung up.
I'll hang her up.
Now, who do you think you are?
Wait a minute. Hello? Who is this? Oh, Mr. Welch. That's fine. Gives me a moment to really tell you what I think about your wife.
George!
Will you get out and let me handle this? Oh, huh. Oh, hello, you will, huh? Well, anytime you think you're man enough, Mr. Welch. Hello?
Daddy, how do you spell hallelujah?
What do you think I am, a dictionary? Tommy, haven't you finished learning that silly tune yet? You played it over and over again. Stop it, stop it.
George, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. Mary, Tommy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... You go on and practice now. Pete, I'm sorry. I owe you an apology too. What do you want to know?
Nothing, Daddy.
What's the matter with everyone? Well, Tommy, go on and play. Go on. I told you to practice. Go on, play.
Oh, Daddy.
George, why must you torture the children? Why don't you just...
Mary.
Where's Daddy going?
Bedford 247, please.
Is Daddy in trouble?
Yes, Pete.
Shall I pray for him?
Yes, Pete. Pray very hard.
Me too.
You too, Tommy. Hello? Uncle Billy?
So, that's it, George. Short $8,000 in the books, eh?
Oh, please, Mr. Potter. I'll pay any sort of interest if you still want the building and loan.
You say the money was lost. Did you happen to notify the police?
No, sir. I haven't done that yet. Harry's homecoming's tomorrow.
And why are you coming to me, George? What about your good friend, Sam Wainwright?
I can't get a hold of him. He's in Europe.
Well then, what kind of security would I have, George? What collateral?
I have some life insurance, a $15,000 bond.
And how much is your equity in it?
$500.
And you want $8,000? Look at you, George. You used to be so cocky. You were going to go out and conquer the world. You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. Well, what are you but a warped, frustrated young man? Crawling in here on your hands and knees for help? No securities, no stocks, no bonds. Why, you're worth more dead than you are alive. Why don't you go to the riffraff you love so much and ask them for help instead?
Please, I'll do anything, Mr. Potter. Please, please help me. My wife and kids.
You know what I'm going to do for you, Mr. Bailey? As a stockholder of the building and loan, I'm calling the state examiner to get a warrant for your arrest. Misappropriation of funds, manipulation,
Mr. Potter,
malfeasance.
please. You can't. They can't arrest me.
Oh, go on and run. You can't hide in a little town like this. Merry Christmas, George!
And now, more from our sponsors. Are you guilty of careless driving because windshield bug spots dulled your vision?
Yes, I'm guilty.
Stop straining to see through a bug-spattered windshield. Duck's Toilet Cake gets the squash bugs off quickly, easily, yes, even when the sun has baked them right into the glass.
Remember, you need clear vision as well as good brakes to avoid accidents. You'll find Duck's Toilet Cake leaves the glass so polished, so crystal clear, you'll hardly know it's there.
I feel so much safer after I clean my windshield with Duck's Toilet Cake. It leaves no dangerous, oily film to pick up dust and might make night driving difficult.
Duck's Toilet Cake, the soap of 100 uses.
You better wash high, you better wash low. Behind your ears, I'm telling you so. Duck's toilet cake is cleaning uptown. It washes up cars, it washes up bars, and out in LA it washes up stars. Duck's toilet cake is cleaning uptown. It's found in every bathroom, from sea to shining sea. It's used by our dear president, and it's used by you and me. You better wash high, you better wash low. Behind your ears, I'm telling you so. Duck's toilet cake is cleaning uptown.
Buy a cake of Duck's toilet soap today. Keep it in your car. And now, the dramatic conclusion of It's a Wonderful Life.
Merry Christmas. Glad you came.
How about some of that good spaghetti?
We got everything.
Where's George, sir? Where?
After running out of Potter's office, George ended up at Martini's bar. He's had a couple of drinks, Clarence. He's just sitting there.
What's he saying? Who is he?
God, I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there and you can hear me, please show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope here. Please show me the way, God.
Are you all right, George? Do you want somebody to take you home?
Why you drink so much, my friend? You don't feel so good. Please go home, Mr. Bailey.
Bailey? You say Bailey? Which Bailey?
This gentleman is Mr. Bailey, George Bailey.
George Bailey, huh? And the next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll get worse. It isn't enough she's slaves teaching your stupid kids how to read and write. You've got to ball her out.
You get out of here, Mr. Welch. You hit my best friend. You get out.
All right.
Mr. Bailey, you okay?
Who's that?
Mr. Welch, but don't worry. He don't come in this place no more. I'll get you something for your face. It's bleeding.
I'm all right.
Please don't go away, Mr. Bailey. Please
leave me alone. Leave me alone.
George is headed to the bridge now, Clarence. Can you see him?
He looks like he's going to jump.
It's time, Clarence.
Excuse me. You there? Have you got the time?
My watch is dead.
Oh, thanks just the same. Help! Help me! I can't swim!
Hold it, mister. I'm coming.
What in Sam Hill are the two of you doing? This storm's not fit for man or beast. Now get out of here. Are you two all right? Do you need a doctor?
No, I'm all right.
No, I'm fine. This underwear. I didn't have time to get anything stylish. My wife gave me this on my last birthday. I passed away in it.
Passed away?
Oh, I see Tom Sawyer's drying out too.
Who?
My book. I left in such a hurry I brought Tom Sawyer with me. You should read the new book Mark Twain is working on.
How'd you happen to fall in?
Oh, I jumped in. I jumped in to save you.
You jumped in to save me.
Well, I did, didn't I? You didn't go through with it, did you?
You go through with what?
Suicide.
Now, it's against the law to commit suicide around here.
Yeah, it's against the law where I come from, too.
Where do you come from?
Heaven.
What?
I had to act quickly. That's why I jumped in. I knew if I were drowning, you would try to save me. And see, you did. And that's how I saved you.
Oh, that's very funny.
Your lips bleeding, George.
Yeah, I got a bust in the jaw in answer to a prayer.
Oh, no, George. I'm the answer to your prayer.
How do you know my name?
Oh, I know all about you. I've watched you grow up from a little boy.
What are you, a mind reader or something?
Oh, no.
Well, who are you then?
Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
Oddbody? AS2? What's AS2?
Angel second class.
Hey, I'm getting out of here. You may not need a doctor, but I do.
Cheerio, my good man.
Hey, look here. Why'd you want to save me?
Because I'm your guardian angel.
I would be a bit surprised.
Ridiculous of you to think of killing yourself for money. $8,000.
Yeah, just things like that. How'd you know that?
I told you. I'm your guardian angel. I know everything about you.
Well, you look like about the kind of angel I'd get. Sort of a fallen angel. What happened to your wings?
I haven't won my wings yet. That's why I'm an angel, second class.
Oh, I see.
But you can help me earn them, George, by letting me help you.
You don't happen to have $8,000, do you?
Oh, no. We don't use money in heaven.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. It comes in pretty handy down here, bub.
Oh, tut.
I found it out a little late. I'm worth more dead than I am alive.
Now, look. You mustn't say things like that. I won't get my wings with that attitude.
Yeah, if it hadn't been for me, everyone would be a lot better off. My wife, my kids, my friends.
This isn't gonna be easy.
I'm gonna be a lot better off if I just hadn't been born.
What'd you say?
I wish I'd never been born.
George, that's wonderful.
Wonderful?
The idea you just gave me. Well, you've got your wish. You've never been born.
Never been born?
Exactly. No worries, no $8,000 get, nothing. You simply don't exist.
Hey, wait a minute. This ear of mine. Say something else in that ear again.
You don't have a bad ear anymore. Don't you see? You're not the George Bailey you think you are. You're a nobody.
That's the doggonest thing.
Your lips stopped bleeding too, George.
Hey, what do you know about that? I think I need a drink. That's what I need. What about you, Angel? Do you want a drink?
Well, I don't know.
Come on. We'll go over once our clothes are dry.
Our clothes are dry.
Hey, what about that? That's funny. This stove's hotter than I thought it was. Hey, look, let's get dressed and we'll stroll over to Martini's. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll stroll, you'll fly.
I haven't got my wings.
That's right, you haven't got your wings. A couple of drinks and we'll both fly. There's a place to sit down. All right, sit down. Oh, hello, Nick. Clarence, welcome to the best bar in Bedford Falls.
Bedford Falls, don't you mean Pottersville?
Pottersville? Hey, where's Martini?
Look, I'm the boss here. Don't you want a drink? Or don't you?
Oh, okay, all right. Double bourbon, quick, huh?
Okay. What's yours, bub?
I was just thinking of mulled wine.
Huh?
Heavy on the cinnamon and light on the cloves. Off with you, my lad, and lively now.
Hey, look, mister. We serve drinks in here for men who want to get drunk fast. And if we don't need any more characters around here, giving the joint any more atmosphere.
And now, come on here, now. Just give him the same as I ordered. He's okay.
2 double bourbon.
What's with this place? It's all changed.
All of Bedford Falls has changed. You're having your wish, George. You've never been born. Oh, there'll be lots of things you've never seen before. Oh, good. Somebody's just made it.
Made what?
Every time you hear a bell ring, it means that some angel's just got his wing.
Now, what did you just say?
Look, Clarence, I don't think you better talk about angels around here.
Don't they believe in angels?
Yeah, they believe in them. It's just, you know.
Well, then why should people be surprised when they see one?
What?
Don't mind him, Nick. He just never grew up. How old are you anyway, Clarence?
293. Next May.
Now that does it. Out. You 2 pixies go out through the door or out the window. Go on, get out.
Where's Martini? Will you tell him?
Stop asking about Martini. He ain't here. Well. Look who crawled out from whatever hole he's been hiding in.
Hey, it's Mr. Gower.
Hey, you rummy. Didn't I tell you to never come in here panhandling again?
George, look.
Mr. Gower, this is George Bailey. Don't you know me?
Will you buy me a drink, sir? Please, just one drink.
Binky, throw the rummy out. You got it, boss.
No, please. No, please.
Hey, Nick, isn't that Mr. Gower, the druggist?
That rumhead spent 20 years in jail for poisoning some kid. If you know him, you gotta be a jailbird yourself. Binky, here's 2 more. Get him out of here. Oh, you got it, boss.
Here, let me help you up. The snow is quite cold.
What's wrong with Mr. Gower?
Mr. Gower doesn't know you, George. You see, George, you weren't there to stop Gower from putting that poison into that prescription.
What do you mean? I wasn't there. What are you, some type of hypnotist? Why am I seeing all these strange things?
Don't you understand? It's because you were never born.
What do you mean? I was never born. What? Then who am I?
You're nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean, no identity? My name's George Bailey.
There is no George Bailey. You have no papers, no cards, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
Zuzu's petals.
What?
Zuzu's petals. My little girl. Some petals fell off her flower, and I told her I'd paste them on, but I put them in my pocket, but they're not here. No, they're all gone. Everything's gone.
But you've been given a great gift, George. The chance to see what the world would be like if you had never been born.
You're crazy. You're crazy, and crazy as a bedbug, and you're driving me crazy too. Look, I'm going home. I'm going home right now, and I'm going home alone.
You know the drill. Hands behind your back, sister.
Keep your hands off me. Why don't you bust somebody else for a change?
Hey, officer. Where'd the building and loan move to?
The building and what?
The Bailey Building and Loan. He was just up there.
They went out of business years ago. Now all that's left is this burlesque house.
Not so fast, Copper. I know Potter.
Hey, Violet. Hey, that's Violet Bick. I know her.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I know.
I know that girl.
Who doesn't? Now get out of our way.
Taxi! Hey, Ernie! Ernie, drive me home. I'm going off my nuts.
Where do you live?
Now, doggone it, Ernie. Don't start pulling that stuff. You know where I live. 320 Sycamore. Now, hurry.
Okay, 320 Sycamore?
Yeah, hurry up. Zuzu's sick.
All right.
Look, Ernie. Straighten me out here, all right? I've got some bad liquor or something. You are Ernie Bishop, and you live in Bailey Park with your wife and your kid. Is that right?
You've seen my wife?
Seen your wife? I've been to your house 100 times.
Look, bud, what's the idea? I live in a shack in Potter's Field, and my wife ran away 3 years ago and took the kid, and I ain't never seen you before in my life.
Okay, just step on it. Just get me home.
Is this the place?
Of course it's the place.
Well, this house ain't been lived in for 20 years.
Mary, I'm home. Pete, Tommy, Zuzu, where are you?
They're not here, George. You have no children.
Where are they, Clarence? What have you done to them?
All right, put up your hands.
What is this?
No fast moves. Coming out here, both of you.
Bert, thank heaven it's you. What's happened to this house? Where's Mary? Where's my kids?
Watch him, Bert.
Come on. I'm going to take you down to the station.
Bert, now listen to me. It's that fellow over there. He's trying to hypnotize me. He says he's an angel.
Don't make me use my nightstick.
Bert, I hate to do this, but...
Run, George! Run, George!
Ma Bailey's boarding house.
Well?
Mother?
Mother, what do you want?
Mother, this is George. I thought sure you'd remember me.
George who? If you're looking for a room, there's no vacancy.
Oh, Mother, please try to understand. Something's happened to me, and I don't know what it is, but I need a place to stay. Please let me stay here.
I don't take in strangers.
I'm not a stranger. I know everybody you know. Your brother-in-law, Uncle Billy.
You know him?
Well, of course I know him.
When'd you last see him?
At his house.
Well, that's a lie. He's been in the insane asylum ever since he lost his business. And if you ask me, that's where you belong.
I'm here again, George.
My mother. My own mother didn't even know me.
Strange, isn't it? One man's life touches so many others, and when he isn't around, he leaves a pretty big hole, doesn't he?
Look, I've heard things like this before. You've got me under some kind of spell. Well, I'm gonna get out of it, and I've got to. I know, I just talked to Uncle Billy this afternoon. He can't be in an insane asylum. I've got to snap out of this. Bailey Park.
There is no Bailey Park if you weren't here to build it.
We'll see.
This is Bailey Park? People live here? Pretty grim.
This is where Bailey Park is supposed to be. What's this gravestone doing here? Why is the name Bailey on it?
Well, that wouldn't be yours.
My father's name is on it. What's this other name? Why is my brother's Harry's name on here?
Your brother broke through the ice and drowned at the age of 9.
That's a lie. Harry went to war. He got the Congressional Medal of Honor. He saved the life of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died. Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry. You see, George, you really had a wonderful life. Don't you see what a mistake it would be to throw it all away?
What do I do now, Clarence? What do I do?
It's your life, George.
What happened to Mary, Clarence?
Mary?
My wife, Mary, what happened to her? If I was never born?
I'm not supposed to tell you, George.
I don't know how you know the things you know, Clarence, but if you know where she is, please let me see her. That's all I need to make a decision.
Very well, George, but you're not going to like it.
Where is she, Clarence?
She's an old maid, George.
Where is she?
She's just about to close up the library. There must be some easier way to earn my wings.
Is the library closed?
It's Christmas Eve. We can't stay open all night.
Can I ask you something?
I should really be getting home.
What is there to go home to?
It's none of your business, sir. The library is closed. Maybe you should try back the 26th.
Mary, I'm sorry.
How do you know my name?
All I need is a couple of minutes.
I told you, the library is closed.
Please, just 2 minutes. That's all I need. I'll do anything.
You sound desperate. I'll help if I can. What is it?
Isn't this town Bedford Falls?
It used to be, but that was some time ago. I wasn't very old when Potter was elected and took the town along with its name for himself.
So you do know a place called Bedford Falls?
I've seen pictures. It looked like a very nice place. Things have changed, but that's with the times. I have to go.
Mary Hatch, you live on Reed Street, White Victorian. Your bedroom's at the top of the stairs. You turn left. You have an older brother, Marty, and live with your mother, Edwina.
How do you know all this? What are you, some crazy man? Stop it, I'm leaving.
Don't you know me, Mary? Please, just let me touch you.
Get your hands off me, I'll call a cop.
The house you wished for, don't you remember?
I told you, I don't know you. Let me go. Officer!
Don't you know me? You must. Mary, don't you know me?
Let me go.
Mary, please. Oh, don't do this to me. Please, Mary. Where are our kids?
What?
I need you, Mary. Mary, help me, Mary.
Get away from me. Help, help, police.
Mary, it's George. Please, Mary. You're my wife.
Ah!
Clarence! Clarence! Clarence, where are you? Help me, Clarence. Get me back. I don't know what happened to me, but only get me back, please. My wife and kids, help me, Clarence. Please, please, I want to live again. Oh, God, please, I want to live again. Please, please let me live again.
George? Is that you, George?
Now get out of here, Bert. Come any closer, I'll hit you again.
What in the Sam Hill are you yelling for, George?
Come on. George? George, Bert, do you know me?
Know you? I've been looking all over the town for you. Where have you been?
Hey, Bert. Bert, I'm alive again, Bert.
Sure you all right? Hey, your mouth's bleeding.
It is? Hey, my mouth's bleeding. Bert, look at the blood come out of there. Would you? Zuzu's petals. Oh, Zuzu's petals, there they are. What do you know about that? Merry Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas. Get in the car. I'll drive you home.
You will, Bert. Well, do that and turn the siren wide open. Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. Hey, Merry Christmas, you wonderful old building and loan. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. Yippee! Mary, I'm home. Has anyone seen my wife? What's this? These people, these reporters. Hey, Merry Christmas, reporters.
George, there's a deficit.
I know, $8,000. I bet, huh?
Got a little paper here.
I bet it's a warrant for my arrest. Isn't it wonderful? Merry Christmas. Hey, where's Mary, you know? Oh, look at this old wonderful drafty house. Isn't it wonderful? Where's Mary?
Merry Christmas, Daddy. Merry Christmas.
Kids, Pete, Tommy. Oh, I could just eat you up. Where's your mother?
She went looking for you with Uncle Billy.
Daddy!
Suzu, my little ginger snap. How are you?
Fine, Daddy. Not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge. Hallelujah.
George, darling.
It's Mommy. Mommy's home.
Mary.
George, where have you been?
Oh, Mary,
George,
let me touch you.
George.
Oh, you're real.
George.
You have no idea what's happened to me.
You have no idea what's happened either. Oh, come on, George, quick. They're on their way.
Who's on their way? The police department? The FBI? The National Guard? Oh, I'm alive again, Mary. I'm alive again.
Oh, come on in here now. Now you stand right over here by the tree. Right here. And don't move. Don't move. I hear them now, George. It's a miracle. Come in, Uncle Billy. Everybody in here.
Isn't it wonderful? Mary did it, George. Mary did it. She told a few people you were in trouble, and they scattered all over town collecting money. They didn't ask any questions, just said, George is in trouble, you can count on me. You never saw anything like it.
What is this, George? Another run on the bank? Here you are. Merry Christmas.
The line forms to the right. Mr. Gower, Merry Christmas. Mr. Martini, step right up now. I busted the jukebox, too.
Mr. Gower.
I made the rounds of my charge accounts.
Violet Bick.
I'm not going to go, George. I changed my mind.
I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it wasn't for you. George, here you are. $242.
I've been saving this money for divorce. If I ever get a husband.
Merry Christmas, George.
Merry Christmas, Mother.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Just a minute. Quiet, everybody. Quiet. A telegram from London.
Oh, London.
Mr. Gower cables, you need cash. Stop. My office instructed to advance you up to $25,000. Stop. Hee-haw and Merry Christmas. Sam Wainwright.
Hello, George. How are you?
Harry.
Harry, how you been? Mary, looks like I got here too late.
Mary, I got him here from the airport as quickly as I could. The fool flew all the way up here in a blizzard.
Harry, how about your banquet in Washington?
Oh, I left right in the middle of it as soon as I got Mary's telegram.
Hey, Mr. Martini, how about some wine?
Good idea. A toast to my big brother George, the richest man in town.
Hey!
What's this book, George?
Tom Sawyer.
Look, there's an inscription.
George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clarence.
What's that?
It's a Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Daddy. Teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right, that's right. Attaboy, Clarence.
This has been WBFR Playhouse of the Air's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. The WBFR Playhouse is brought to you this and every week by Bremel Hair Tonic and Duck's Toilet Cake. Please stay tuned for a program of popular holiday music. This is Freddie Fillmore signing off for WBFR in New York City and wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Good night.
If you want toys like other little boys in your neighborhood, don't wait till the night before Christmas to be good. And dolls with curls are for the little girls who do the things they should. So don't wait till the night before Christmas to be good. You can't fool Mr. Santa Claus, he knows right from wrong. And you can't be right for just one night, you gotta be right right along. You'd love to see another Christmas tree where the old one stood. So don't wait till the night before Christmas to be good.